What's up, my friend? Today I'll be reacting to how I see the US as a European after 6 months. Well, guess what? I'm also European, so I'm kinda curious to see this one. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like, thank you so much, my friend. It's the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. You guys end up recommending this one quite a lot, so let's play it.
I feel like I need to preface all of this by just saying that this is not a political video at all. It's just my impressions, my views, my opinions, nothing too serious.
Yep.
Best drivers and worst all-way crossroads. I am not surprised that a lot of people don't have passports in the US. I literally got kicked out of a Starbucks. Would I ever live in the United States? All right, let's get started. So I'm Ava and I'm a travel YouTuber, as many of you might know. I've traveled to, I don't know how many because I don't really count, but 70 plus countries, and I am as European as it gets in the sense that I was born in Poland, I grew up in England, but I lived in a whole bunch of different European countries: Italy, Germany, Belgium,
Portugal,
Poland, England. Recently, I wrapped up a 6-month trip of the United States where I traveled all across the country. You know, the United States is such an interesting place. Some people love it, some people hate it. So in this video, I want to give you a little bit of a dose of how a European might perceive the US. First of all, cultural shocks. So you see, you know, back home in Europe, we're all brought up with, you know, Americanized culture of some kind.
That's true.
But it's only when you get to the United States that you realize how different some things are. So for starters, everybody smiles at you in the US, and people give you random compliments on the street. Like, I'll be walking down the street and someone would just like shout out from the other side of the street, like, "Nice tattoo, man," or like, "I love your hair," or like, "I love your necklace." People are so nice. I love that about the US.
Oh, I love that. And look, I kind of know that because of you. I'm talking to you, really. No, maybe. But looking at my comment section, yeah, sometimes there is one guy that, you know, goes a bit over, have some crazy ideas, but most people really, amazing people. Amazing, amazing, amazing people. So I always had a good idea about... not a good idea, a good perception about Americans. Right now, man, I feel like I may get disappointed since I have the expectations so high. It's crazy. But again, you guys are amazing.
Another cultural shock that I experienced are...
You guys and gals, okay? Because we have 20% female viewers, and I love all of them. Okay, you guys understand? Okay.
The car.
As a content creator. Course.
All the infrastructure is centered around cars. So, you know, in Europe, it would be really easy to like take a bus or a train somewhere. In the US, it's like you got a pickup truck or you have nothing at all. You take your pickup truck, even though you're not hauling anything, most likely in your pickup truck, and like you go to a drive-through restaurant, drive-through cafe, drive-through shop, drive-through ATM.
No chance. No chance. Look, in Portugal, there is no way you can drive through an ATM or a pharmacy or a restaurant. Never mind. Drive-throughs, yeah, you can go to McDonald's. That's it. But the thing with pickups, a bit of a random question, I admit, but are those the most popular type of cars in America? Or, for example, I believe the word is a sedan, basically a normal car, actually, a family car. Is more popular than a pickup, or is a pickup even more popular? I wonder actually about that. But let's run this one a bit back. That's crazy, by the way, that you guys can drive to a restaurant, for example. That's crazy.
Drive-through cafe, drive-through shop, drive-through ATM. I swear there's probably not a single drive-through ATM in all of Europe. The point is, it is a very car-centric culture. So without a car, it's kind of hard to get around, which is a major inconvenience if you don't drive. Also, I feel like...
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But I drive, so... No, but jokes aside, I see your point, and it's a fair one, I think. But I don't even... Look, we have good public transportation. I don't like it. I have to be honest. I prefer a car. I think is more practical. I can go wherever I want. It's just better, my friends.
Like, in some of the places that I've been to in the United States, the concept of a pedestrian doesn't really exist because there's like no sidewalks, pavements.
Okay, that's bad. See, that's bad. So, my friends, I was with you. You lost me. No, you lost me. It is what it is. No sidewalk, really? But I believe there is sidewalks. At least when I see videos about homes, there is always sidewalks there. Am I off? But in this one, yeah, there is no. But it's stupid because you have the space to do it right there.
I don't know what you call them in the States. Pavements?
Actually, let's run it a bit back.
Because there's like no sidewalks. Pavements. I don't know what you call them in the States. Pavements or sidewalks? I'm not sure what they are. Anyway.
Potato. But let's go with sidewalks.
It's like they are the least important thing on the road, which is kind of sad because, you know, I like walking. Another cultural shock that I encountered was whenever I went to restaurants. What is up with the waiter just literally taking your card and then taking it somewhere? I don't know where they took it. Are they like taking it to steal my data? Are they like, where did they take my card? You know, in Europe, every single time the waiter would come over.
No chance. No chance that someone takes my card. No, that's scary. Is this true? Oh, that's scary. Oh, they can write the information on the card. Why they do that? Oh, wow. Okay, not aware of this at all. Oh, wow. Okay, this is really surprising.
Where did they take my card? You know, in Europe, every single time the waiter would come over with the little card reader machine and you would like put in your PIN, you know, right there at your table.
Yeah.
In the United States, they take your card away from you. And then there's the tipping culture. In the United States, you know, you go to get a coffee, it costs like $4, $5, whatever. And then you're taking it away, but you're still expected to give a tip. And it's not just any tip, it's like 20%, 25%. Those are like the little options that they give you on the little iPad. You know, and if you tap like 10% or 15%, that means you're cheap. And that just makes you feel really terrible, like an awful human being.
Damn it.
So you end up tipping 25%. We don't have that in Europe. In some countries in Europe, you don't even tip because I guess waiters are paid an appropriate living wage, so they don't actually need to rely on tips, unlike in the US. In some countries in Europe...
You know what? I disagree with this one. Because I see this argument from Europeans all the time. Oh, because waiters are paid well. That's a job that is not paid well at all here in Portugal, and I believe across the world. It's not a top tier type of job. Okay? Can we be honest with that? So, yeah, I kind of disagree because this is not the first time I see this argument because they are paid well. Not really. I actually like the way Americans do this. And this was not the case 3 months ago, but I've been reacting more and more, and I kind of get the idea of tipping, and to me actually makes sense now. Am I crazy? I don't know. Well, that was a mini rant, sorry.
So they don't actually need to rely on tips, unlike in the US. In some countries in Europe, you do tip a little bit, like 10% maybe, if the service is really excellent, but in a lot of places, you just wouldn't. So that was a really interesting difference. Not only are the prices in the United States generally higher, but you also have to add that extra for tipping. Also, sales tax. Like, again, you go to a supermarket, it says one price, but you end up paying something completely different. What's up with that? And then there's like a couple of really small things that at first you don't even notice until you get it really wrong, and then you learn very quickly. So date formats. In the States, they put the month ahead of the day. How does that make any sense?
That does not make. Sorry, my friends. Again, see, my friends, I feel like that I'm going like this with you in this video. A lot of times I'm like, no, you know what? Americans are doing this right. You lost me again. You know, the sidewalk and this one, you lost me. The date format, you guys really have to fix that. I'm joking. I mean, you guys should do the way you want, but makes very little sense to me. I have to be honest on that one.
You should go from like smallest to biggest, right?
Yeah.
Day, month, year. In the US, it's month, day, year. I'm sorry. It is just simply wrong. And Fahrenheit. Don't even get me started on Fahrenheit, on pounds, on feet, and inches. Okay, I grew up in the UK, so I am familiar with some of those units, but Fahrenheit, just so confusing. So, like, 0 is the point just before freezing. So anything below 0 that is freezing should just be minus, right?
Sure.
But in Fahrenheit, somehow it's like 20 Fahrenheit is freezing. I don't even know. Spent 6 months there, did not learn a thing.
Okay, I actually know this a bit more or less because I've been reacting to so much stuff that I end up forcing myself to learn. But you know what? I cannot stop thinking about the date formats because... So, this may sound weird, but when I say January 5th, it sounds much better than 5th of January, right? So I kind of like it the way it says. 1st of January. No, that sounds weird, right? January 1st. That sounds better. It's crazy, but maybe because I'm already influenced by you, my friends. But yeah.
All right, let's move on to some of the differences between the United States and Europe. So I drove all across the United States, right? Like kind of twice, like all the way from Texas to Alaska and then all the way from Alaska to Southern California. And one thing that really struck me is the driving. So first of all, in the US, it's pretty common not to know how to drive, stick shift, like manual. In Europe, that's basically how you learn. Everybody drives manual, and people do have automatic transmission cars, but like you can drive both, right? Whereas in the States, it's mostly automatic transmission, which is kind of funny to me. So I felt like...
Okay, sorry, but she said something there that makes very little sense. Actually makes sense, but the opposite makes very little sense. So she said that if in Europe, right, you can drive manual, of course you can drive automatic. I mean, because automatic, you have nothing to do. But if you just know how to drive automatic, most of the time you have no idea how to do it manually, right? Or do you guys also learn manually? I wonder.
Like people gave me extra props for like being able to drive manual, whereas I'm just like, well, it's nothing special. Everybody does it back home, Then there's the road rules.
Kind of true.
Things that I just didn't know before coming to the United States. For example, in the US, even when the traffic lights are red, you can still make a right turn, right? In Europe, that is not the case at all. If the light is red, it is red for a reason. You have to stay there. Stop. Unless there's a little like green arrow like pointing to the right. Otherwise, you're standing there and waiting until it turns green. I can't tell you how many cars have like literally just sat there behind me waiting for me to make a right turn before I realized that I was actually allowed to do it. But they would just, sit there and like honk at me and I'll be like, what's your problem? It's red. And then my favorite thing about driving in the United States, all-way crossroads. The crossroads with like the like red stop sign and then that says like 4-way or all-way? I still don't know what the difference is, but what it is...
Wait, what is that for? Oh my god, I was not aware of this, sorry.
Crossroads. The crossroads with like the like red stop sign and then...
4-way? Oh, maybe because there is 4 intersections? Okay.
That says like 4-way or all-way. I still don't...
Yeah, no idea actually.
don't know what the difference is, but what it is, and this is mind-blowing, you drive up to this crossroad and then the first person that got to the crossroad has priority. So there's 4 directions, right? And then there's 4 people competing for priority. So you gotta sit there in your car while driving and like calculate, okay, that guy was first, that woman was second, then that guy, and then I'm 4th. And then there's more cars coming. So it's super confusing. Like it's like a big mental workout. I am not kidding you. I used to find this so confusing. And like, I just didn't even know that was the rule. So it took me a little while.
Just go fast. That's the best rule. Go fast and you avoid all the problems. Or you create more. But yeah, that's very confusing, my friends.
to figure that out with the help of a friend. I would just like literally stand there and like wait for people to go because I had no idea what the hell was
Or that option, you are the last one because, better be careful than sorry.
going on there. In Europe, the person that's on the right always has priority. That's it. So you don't really have to think about it very much. Another big difference between Europe and the United States is the sheer...
To be honest, that's not totally true. Because if there is a stop... Sorry, my friend. Yeah, maybe I'm lying. But if there is a stop, you actually have to give... So the stop breaks that rule. So there is a couple of things that may be... the right logic that does not apply, but let's not go into that. That would be quite complex for now.
Distance of everything. So back home, you'd like drive to the next city and you'd be like, yeah, I'm like 3 hours away, I'm like 200 kilometers away, whatever. In the US, like people don't even talk about driving in terms of hours. They're like, yeah, it's a 2-day drive. A 2-day drive? Like in Europe,
do the 2-day drive, I will go to Ukraine from Portugal. And I don't want to go to Ukraine right now. No, that was such a bad joke. God damn it. Let's continue.
that is literally like the other end of the continent. In the US, you're just like driving from one state to the next. It's pretty radical. And also Texas is huge. It's like never ending. Texas never ends. Never.
I believe it.
My leg is asleep. Moving on to some of the expectations versus reality. Oh yes, hello little boy. So naturally, before coming to the US, before doing this massive road trips, I had some expectations built up about the United States.
Sure.
Now, mind you, this wasn't my first time in the US. I had already been to like San Francisco, LA, New York City, Miami, but this is the first time that I actually drove across the country rather than just staying in cities. So,
sorry, that's so beautiful. Oh man. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I definitely came with some expectations. So let's see how they matched up to the actual reality. Okay, first of all, I really thought that I would see guns absolutely everywhere. Honestly, like to be completely honest with you, I expected that every Walmart would sell guns. That was literally the idea that I had in my head, that every single Walmart in the United States had a gun section. That is not true.
Well, there's all kinds of sections here at this Walmart beyond the groceries. There's one thing that I do not see is guns.
It took me like 5
No guns on that Walmart. That's a liberal Walmart, 100%.
Walmarts before I actually got to the one that did have a gun section, which was really interesting. Like in Europe, you just do not see guns, ever. But in the US, they are relatively common. You do see in some states, obviously like states that are like open carry states, you see people with actual guns like right here. Which is interesting because that was an experience I never had before. But I definitely expected to see more guns than I did in reality. Now, this is not a video about gun problems and gun laws and things like that. I'm sure we all have our opinions. The fact is that I just expected to see many more gun shops everywhere that I went, and I did. One thing that I was kind of worried about, I expected everybody to always talk politics. Because again, politics is such a big, contentious, polarizing subject, not just in the US right now, but all around the world. So I was really worried that I would come to the US and I would have to have political conversations with people. And that fortunately didn't happen. I mean, the funny thing is that if you're from the States, the way that you have a conversation is telling of your political stance. The way that you joke about gun laws, or even just like looking at fences, with like Trump 2024 or Biden something. There is so much politics all around the US and like I think in the like psyche as well, in the American psyche. But luckily, I think as a foreigner, you get the privilege of not having to talk about politics. And I feel like people do see you as a bit of an alien in some way.
Okay, I mean, I don't know what to say about this one, really. I have a lot of viewers that I believe are Republican, because they tell me. And I also have a lot of the word is Democrats, right? And I love all of you guys equal. Okay, now I just sounded my mother talking about me and my brothers. But that's true, actually. It's kind of true. I mean, I think people first, politics second.
That they just kind of spare you the political discourse, which is great. I'm honestly not there. I'm not there to talk about politics. I also expected all the food in the States to be absolute and utter trash.
No,
Garbage.
no.
There's so many of these words that now just trip me up. Garbage is American, trash is British. Is it? Yes.
Okay. Oh, see, this I don't relate because okay, I always had the idea that you guys have a lot of fast food, but I actually like fast food, and I would love to try a couple of different chains. Is that a word? No, chain is what? Restaurant chains. I believe that's correct. But take a look at Louisiana food, Texas barbecue. Oh man, you guys have amazing food that is not fast food, basically. So I have high expectations for this one when I go to America.
I think it is. Okay, so I expected all food in the States to be trash. It wasn't. It wasn't all bad. Maybe that's because I have been following mostly a vegan diet, so I have been avoiding a lot of the like...
Oh no. Okay, I should not say this joke. Never mind, let's continue. Okay, now I have to say it. Vegan going to America, bad idea. Yeah, no, sorry. That's bad idea. In America, you have to eat meat. Sorry. There is a bunch of vegans putting dislikes on my video right now. Even though I still love you guys, but... and of course, I'm joking.
Super processed stuff. But the fact of the matter is that trash food is very, very, very cheap and very widely spread. But in the US, you can also get some of the best food in the world. It's just that it costs a little bit extra. Whole Foods.
I mean, of course.
I love you. I love you. The reality is... What's up? What's up? Intruders? The reality is that the US has the best and the worst food in the world. It's just that the best food comes at a very high price point. I feel like back home, more people have more access to better quality food for like much lower prices. All right, let's move on to some of my...
I think she may be correct on this one, but one thing that I've been noticing, and I believe this is across all the first world countries, to be honest, that there is a deterioration, because fast food is becoming more popular almost everywhere. And that's crazy if you really think about it. Real talk, I eat much worse than my parents, because my parents did not grow up with fast food. I don't know, at least that's my perspective.
Favorites, some of my least favorites, some of my frustrations, some of my struggles, best drivers and worst drivers in the United States.
Okay.
My favorite places in the US, Montana, Wyoming, and then central Nevada. Not Las Vegas, never been there. Like the deserts of Nevada. Just so much nature, so much space, so much beauty. Least favorite place in the United
I would love to visit those places also.
States, Yellowstone National Park. Granted, I went there like at the height of the tourist season, but man, that place is basically just...
No chance she said that. You cannot talk bad about Yellowstone. Oh no. I love that national park.
A massive glorified parking lot. It is like nature completely Disneyfied. And okay, it's great. It's probably more widely accessible to a lot more people, but I just feel like it just lost its charm. So I might give it another shot in the future, but...
No, this I have to disagree. André, how can you disagree if you never went there? But I actually saw a lot of videos about Yellowstone, and it's one of the parks I would love to visit the most. No chance, Yellowstone is amazing. Please tell me Yellowstone is amazing.
I wasn't wowed. Best drivers in the United States, Washington and Oregon. By and large, very polite. Worst drivers, Nevada and Montana. Oh my
Nevada, because they lost everything in the casino, right? So you have to understand that.
God. And I'm sorry to say, but if you own a Ram pickup truck, you are very much in that category. I can't tell you how many pickup trucks have like passed me while like you're honking and showing me obscene gestures for not going faster. It's like, man, my car is like a 17-year-old, 3.5 ton expedition rig. I cannot go.
Okay, that's crazy because I drive very slow. Really, very slow. That's even a joke with my friends. I'm so careful driving. I'm going always very slow because I always think if there is a problem, if I go slow, it's never that bad. Maybe in America people will get mad at me.
Faster than 60 miles per hour. Physically impossible. You know, have some respect. Yeah, Ram pickup drivers. Not my favorite type. Here's a few things that I found frustrating and nice surprises in the US. So, you know, I walk barefoot a lot of the time and I literally got kicked out of a Starbucks for being barefoot. And there's plenty of restaurants and cafes and shops that have like that really obnoxious no shirt, no shoes, no service sign on the front.
Yeah, this may be controversial, but I kind of agree with this. Sorry. I don't think you should... no pets, I guess is more debatable, but I mean, you need to have a shirt and shoes. Sorry, this one I know some people will disagree a lot, but I kind of agree. The pets, it depends a bit, but I kind of agree.
Door, man, it's like, like I'm not hurting anyone by being barefoot, so that was a bit annoying. And then a lot of places don't allow dogs, which is also a little bit sad because this little munchkin over here, come here, come say hello. This little munchkin over here would like to go to your cafe, and he's a very good boy. He's a very good boy, right? Just look at his face.
Yeah, he's a nice dog.
Okay, here are some of the nice surprises that I had when visiting the US. So by and large, I found people in the US to be really, really, really lovely. Very friendly, really polite, you know, very welcoming and hospitable. Another really pleasant surprise, and this was probably my favorite thing about the US, was the sheer diversity of the country. I mean, there's just so much to see. And I could pretty much wild camp in all of the...
Being real, my friends, now. I mean, I have been real the entire video, but some real talk right now. I mean, we are 20 minutes in, no one is watching anymore, but the thing about America, and the thing I've been having so much fun on this channel, is the fact that... So, when I started reacting, the first thing I was like, okay, this will be fun for a while, but after... there will be a point in time that I have nothing to react because it will be the same thing over and over. Wrong. Very wrong. America is so big, is so diverse that I feel like I'm just getting started on this channel. It's crazy. And that's so fascinating to me to learn. Oh, I'm having a blast on this channel, and I hope if you are watching, look, you know what? We are 29 minutes in. Leave me in the comment 29 if you are watching the video and enjoying this journey with me. Let's continue.
These amazing places in my 4x4 rig. I would imagine that if you're in like a giant RVs, what the hell? We don't even have those in Europe. No. RVs. That's definitely another culture shock. Anyway, I can imagine that if you're in a giant RV, that wouldn't be the case, but in my little truck, I had access to so many beautiful places, and that was just awesome. So, you know, back home in Europe, people sometimes make fun of Americans, you know, saying that, oh, they're Americans, they're not very cultured, they're not very well traveled. But you know what? I
find that so weird. How can, to be honest, this is true, but how can Europeans say that I never said that, and I'm not saying this because I have a channel about reacting to American stuff. I really never said that. The thing is, but how can people say... this is what I never understood, because, you know, I also know people that say stuff like that, look, America runs the world, man. You know? America protect... If... Sorry for the word, but if shit hits the fan, we need America. You know, so... Of course, America is an amazing country. Otherwise, would not be the number one country. There is a lot of problems. I would assume so, but there is also a lot of problems in my country too, to be honest. So nothing is perfect, but look, I know Portuguese people that are dumb as a door, and I know Portuguese people that are amazing and really, really smart. So, you know, these generalizations are always so dangerous because they never reflect what a country is.
Completely get it now. Like,
Or a country are. What is better saying? Country is?
Get it why most Americans don't even have a passport. Because everything is so far away. You know, in Europe, we have this amazing privilege that we can literally hop on a train or hop in the car, and within a few hours, we are in a completely different country with a separate language, a different culture. It is just so diverse, and everything is really close together back home. But in the US, everything is so far. Even getting to the next state is a trek and a half. So I am not surprised that a lot of people don't have passports in the US, or that they haven't traveled abroad, or that they don't know other languages, because in order to do these things, you have to be quite privileged financially, which back home in Europe is a very different kind of dynamic. So do I have any regrets? Yes, a couple. First of all, I really wish that I could have stayed longer, but my visa only ran for 6 months, so that's how much time I had, and I just really hope that one day I get to come back and see more of it. Hopefully, someday soon. Another regret that I have is not having really engaged with different communities across the United States. So next time I come, I'd love to get more perspectives on what it's actually like to live in the US today. You know, people from all kinds of different backgrounds and ethnicities and cultures and communities. So I really hope that I get to do that next time. So a few closing thoughts. I noticed that throughout my time in the United States, my accent started changing, and it went from this like Britishy accent to something more like hybrid American. I'm not sure if I loved that about myself. So I'm just kind of like easing back into my normal way of speaking that is like not influenced by, you know, my context. So yeah.
Makes sense.
On to the big final question, the most important of them all. Would I live there? I don't know what the handshaking was all for.
I would.
Just to build extra
100%.
Anyway, would I live in the United States given everything I...
But, okay, when I say I would, not hood, I'm not from the wood. But when I say I would, what I mean is in a state that does... I don't like states... No, actually, I should not say that because I actually like them. I love California. I think California is tremendous, beautiful, but I don't like the cities. Los Angeles, San Diego. To be fair, I don't even have money to live there. But even if I had, being honest, I don't think I would enjoy that much. I like Montana, Maine, Texas, of course. Texas, you guys know, I have a fascinating... I find Texas super fascinating. Colorado, Utah, all of those places. For example, New York, that would be a nightmare. Even though the state is probably really beautiful, so maybe not New York City, but in the state of New York. You know what I'm trying to say? I think that's fair, right, my friends? But yeah, that's my perspective. Maybe in Texas, if I go to cities like Dallas and Austin or something like that, I would not even be happy there also. So even if I like Texas, you know my point?
I have come to learn about this country, given all the places that I've seen, and the answer is very simple. Yes, 1000% I would live in the United States. To me, the United States...
You know what? 100%. Of course.
is the most beautiful country in the world. It really
And this is okay. Okay. So when I say this, you guys say, André, but you never been here, so your opinion does not matter that much. She went to a lot of places, and she's saying America is the most beautiful place in the world. So, yep, I have been right all the time.
really is. I just love it so much. I
Me too.
completely fell in love. So if you're American and you're single, email marriage@avazubek.com to send me offers of marriage so that I can move there permanently and build a house in Montana or Wyoming or Nevada.
No chance. Wait, she really did this? She may be joking, but 100% some random guy will send an email. Oh, this is a bad idea. Okay, well,
Just kidding. That email address
just kidding, but still going to get emailed, I bet.
does not exist.
Or not, never mind.
So those are some of my impressions of the United States. It is really hard to condense 6 months of life experience into this short video, but if you found any of this surprising or funny, I'd love to hear from you. And if you feel like I should give the United States another chance
You
sooner
should.
rather than later, make sure you leave a comment below.
I will actually.
marriage@avazubek.com.
No, but jokes aside, great video. I always have a lot of fun reacting to her videos, and this one was no different. So, my friends, always tell me in the comments what you end up thinking about this one. I'm always open also to different suggestions for new reactions. And that's it. And that's it for today, my friends. Hope you end up enjoying this video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like. Also consider to subscribe if you are new to my channel. And also let me remember you about one thing. I have a Patreon community. I put videos there a bit earlier than I put on YouTube. So if you want to support me and have access to early content, go to my Patreon. I will leave a link on my description. Take a look at that. You can also scan the QR code you'll be seeing here. And that's it.